Well, hi, welcome to my studio. You don't see me, do ya? Because I'm coming in. I'm going to go around the other side. This is Marilyn Price. You'll probably recognize me once I get there. But first, I wanted to introduce you to what we're going to do today in our program called Stuff and No Sense, which means I'm going to like you to use things you have around the house. So it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to go to the store. So if you will note back here, oh, hi. Maybe I should say hi first. Hi. Back here we have one, two, three, four of my oldest puppet friends, and we're gonna make a puppet with a head just like those, with a little bit of squishing around because that's what you have to do with this. This is my kiddo when she was 13. She's a little older now, and this is my friend Joe. And this is a puppet of me. That's how old it is. Joe and I were made at the same time. And this, in case you don't recognize him, one of the fathers of our country is Benjamin Franklin. You would recognize him by his wit and his glasses and his very lovely hair. Okay, so that's the kind of character I'd like to introduce you to making today. And if you'll notice, I have some supplies ready for me. And it's not real hard. And the cool part about doing it this way is that if you don't get it the first time, you can just watch me again, kind of like instant replay, as in play. What a good time we'll have. So here's what you need. As is the title of our program, you need some stuff. If you don't have stuff around, what you can use is if you have an old pillow, ask first, please. Take the polyester stuffing out of it, not cotton, because that gets kind of lumpy. And we here at the Mentor Project do not want you to do anything lumpy. So that was me also settling myself in here. You also need a half hose. If you don't have any of those around, you can use an old sock. They work fine, but these are nice and flexible, and they come in all sorts of colors now. So I had all these around because I make puppets with students all the time. Oh, and that's you, that's my students. So first ingredients are stuffing and a sock. Then eventually we're going to need hair. I use old yarn for today. I happen to have a lot of it. And we're going to have some eyeballs for our character because we're making a human. And this is probably something you may not have. And you don't really need it, but I like to use it before they stop making it. It's called whiteout. And I'll show you how important that is. Oh, and a needle and thread. And the thread I use is heavy thread. So it's called button thread because for two reasons. Number one, it's really easy to thread into a needle. Oh, did I mention you need a scissors? And two buttons with, this is called a shank button. I don't know if you can see it. I'll come a little closer. It's got a little hole in it. Makes it so much easier to get through. Here is the old yarn I'm using. I happen to have a sweater that's just like it. And that's going to become its hair. Now, you don't need hair. You can get a little hat, stick it on, maybe a cap like the one in the back. Or I found this too. That would make great hair because that's what it's supposed to be. So I'm going to try to do this and talk you through it at the same time and let you know that I don't know how it's going to come out. That's what makes it the best. So, as the name implies, we're going to take our stuffing and we're going to stuff it. We're going to stuff it into our half hole. The other thing I also like to have around when I use socks like these is nail polish. Not so I can do my nails, but just in case I make a run, because nail polish stops a run. I have, you don't see him here, but I have a puppet I use all the time that I love that got a run, and I just stopped it and I still use it. Now, as it turns out, I need more stuffing because I want to make a relatively large head for our stuff and nonsense puppet, which we're going to use in the story once I figure out what it is. And that's how I work sometimes, I make the character and then I look at it several which ways and then I make a story about it. So we're going to do that the next time. Sort of a tease, right? Okay, here it is. We have stuffed the head. And we're going to kind of want to round it out a little bit. Boy, that's pretty good. What do you think? I'm going to take my, although I kind of like that. Yay, take a bow. Nice job. Okay, take my hand out, because we need to work. I need both hands. So I'm going to actually stick a little bit back inside to start a hole for our puppet, although we don't need it yet. So what we have now is the head of a puppet. But what does it need? What? A nose. Exactly. So I'm going to do this two ways. I'm going to use, oh, sorry. So what I did first, so I wouldn't embarrass myself by letting you watch me not being able to thread the needle, is I threaded the needle off camera. So here it is, needle threaded off camera. And we're going to want to make a nose on our puppet. So what I want you to do generously, as if you were opening the door, is to keep the seam of the sock on the top, grab a whole bunch of nose like that. Yep, that's what it would say. Now, once we've done that, just push and push and push. See how I pushed? Until the nose becomes huge nose, because what happens when you start to sew it, it loses its size. But we're not going to sew, actually. What we're going to do, and don't worry, it doesn't hurt the puppet, take this needle, and thread. We're going to push it. See where my fingers are? My thumb is there. My second finger is right there. Push it right there. Got it? And then I'm going to pull it out, but not too far. So we don't want to lose the material. We don't want to lose our thread inside. Then I'm going to go around just to where the top of the circle is. I'm going to push that down and come out the other way. So our needle has 1, 2, 3, 4 entry spots, or in and outs. And when you pull like that, see? Yep. And then, because we can, we're going to wrap it around our protruding nose. Sounds like somebody's name, right? I'd like you to meet my friend, Protruding Nose. All right, we're going to wrap and wrap and wrap. See? And wrap. Good grief. Until we have a nose. Oh my gosh. Look at that nose. So now we're going to pull it tight, go back in, and come out, maybe, but not always, where we started. Then I'd like you to do the following. Take this thread, because you're not going to lose it. Hold on to it. I'll do this so you can see me. And we're going to tie it to the other, as if you're making a present. See? We can even at this. We're going to leave. Excuse me. It won't hurt. I just stuck it in his head, but it really doesn't hurt because he can't feel anything yet. I haven't made him into a puppet to give him puppet life. All right, we're going to tie it up like that. See that? Just like you'd be tying your shoes. Hoping you can tie your shoes now. Actually, I'm going to put it down like that so I can see what I'm doing. You can see at the same time. Tie a knot. Oh, this is cool. It's so exciting that I can do this and watch it at the same time. Watch you until it's all tied up. Then I'm going to take these two and, oh, did you not do that well, Marilyn? She didn't do it well. So we're going to do it again. That's the cool part about doing this, quote unquote, live, because if you make a mistake, that's perfectly fine, because guess who else made a mistake? Me. All right, now we got it. We have made a tie, and then I'm going to take the needle that's attached to the thread and put it back through the puppet. Being careful not to poke yourself in the finger like I did, because we don't want to see these flying around. Then I'm going to pull it a little bit tight, take the needle out, and just cut it. And you push it like that, the extra thread will go inside the puppet's face. Now we have a little bit of a piece of thread there, so you know what we're going to do with that one? We're going to do the same thing. Now you will watch me thread a needle. If I could find the needle. Okay, thread the needle. Here it is. I always have needles around. Thread the needle back. That's how I do it. I have to wet it a little bit because that makes it stand up very straight and get through great big eye thing that it has. I've threaded it again. Do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to even watch myself to make sure I don't stick myself. Okay, then I'm going to pull, pull, pull until that thread is all the way on the other side. Ta-da! You've got a nose, buddy. Okay, now, here's the cool thing. I figured this out a long time ago. You're going to take two buttons with, remember, the shank on this side and the shank on this side. I'm going to pull it. Hello, aren't you coming out? Here it is. See them? Oops. I dropped that one, so you know what? I'm going to use, I'm going to use this one. Of course, you have to make a face when you pull something out because it just gives it so much more emphasis. So I now have two buttons. They're not exactly the same, but you know what? That's what this is about. Somewhere in the world, there's a button that looks like this and a button that looks like this. But when we put it in our puppet, it's going to look the same. So I like black shiny eyes. I don't use googly eyes on my puppets. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my needle and push it through the shank of the button. See, got it there? And then, attaching this here so I don't lose it, I'm going to tie a knot around where the button is. A double knot all the way to the base. Nothing should be left. I'll show you when I'm done. See right there? There you go. You can see it. I think it's better if you put it over my nose. That's even better. And then I'm going to tie a double knot, just so we don't want to lose it. Because what we're going to do is make a mouth and attach the two eyes at the same time, which is why I used the red. Okay? So I did. I undid my needle. Okay, so now we're going to take this. I did it so that the needle came off. I didn't mean to do that, but no, as I said before, I use these needles and threads because they're so big. So we're going to get him back on here. Perfect. If you don't know how to thread needles, they have these incredibly wonderful things called needle threaders that I sometimes use for skinnier needles, but these are cool. All right, so remember where the nose is? Watch this. You know where the eye is supposed to be, right? Yeah, okay. It's going to go in where one eye is and then out where the other will be. When you do that, push, the eye goes into place, right? See him? You can see you out of one eye, but not two. So now I'm going to reach down at the other eyeball that I found, which is slightly different, but no big deal, and put that, and you thread that one through. Got it? See? In one eye and out the other, so to speak. Then, to make the mouth, the first time I did this, I was so excited, like I invented something magic. And come down to where you think the mouth might be. So, look at me. Here's my corner of my eye, corner of my mouth. It's right over here. So that's about the same way I'm going to do it for my friend here. See, you got two eyes. Lovely. Look lovely. Okay. Now we're going to do a stretch across. We're going to stretch all the way to the other side. Same position as the other eye. The other outside of the eye. And then we're going to come back up. And stretch ever so much. And then will you see him? So cute. And then we're going to wrap him around just a little bit. And then I'm going to be very daring. I'm going to let go. Take the needle out, put it in a safe place. Now I'm going to do what I did before. I am going to tie these two together. And again, like that. Now, watch this. Do you remember what I did before when I threaded the needle? I pulled it through and then clipped it. I'm going to do that, but just to save our time. You could also use this lovely monocle, don't you think? So what I'm going to do now, just to save, because I want to move on to something to do, is just wrap it around a couple of times and make sure that there's enough there so it doesn't get lost. And I'm going to clip it, just like that. You can do that, especially if you've got a good scissors, and tuck it in. You can even take a little glue later on and make sure that that little piece doesn't show. But I'm going to take another magic piece of material called my finger. Push it in. Oh, look at you. You're adorable. You want to see the people? You do? Okay, turn around. I'm going to clip you a little bit more so you're tidy. Awesome job. I said awesome job. I was talking to me. Okay, done. All right, now, remember what I said? I'd like you to use this whiteout. These buttons are pretty good because they pick up the light anyway. But with a little bit of whiteout, what they're going to do is catch the light. And just a dot. Whiteout is used for that rare moment when you make a mistake in typing and they can just type over it. But nowadays with computers, it's not as important as it used to be. So, too bad I miss whiteout. I loved it. All right. Oh, you know what, red thread? You are just wanting to be visible. I don't want you to be. All right, now we've got it. Perchance. Okay. Done. I think these red eyelashes are going to be... So now I have made the face with a smile. Well, actually, it's a perfect face. It's not too happy, not too sad, just right. And so what else do we need for him? Oh, sometimes we need shadows. So in order to get the best shadows on this kind of puppet, we do regular old makeup. So, because I didn't want you to go out and buy some, don't. If someone in your house happens to wear this, say, excuse me, could I just borrow a little bit? It's not a lot. And then what you do is you put it on the brush and you play makeup artist. Where? There. Over here. There. That gives your puppet a little bit more dimension. Loves that. Okay. Now, what I said to you before was, we're going to show you a couple of bodies. Oh, I'm sorry. Hair comes first. Would you like hair? You would like hair? Would you like this kind of hair? That's crazy hair. It's just crazy. I think it's too long. You look like Rapunzel. Well, you could be Rapunzel. How's that? Like it? No? Okay. So here's an idea. I took this old yarn that I had. I was making something. And I made something. I made, I think, a scarf. But I had this left over. So I took the yarn. Best place to keep it is on the floor while you're doing this. And then you just start to roll it on around you. I'll just do a few, and I'll show you what happens when you do enough. You keep going and going and going and going and going, going and going, and then you stop and you take a scissors. You pull it off, and if you hold it together like that, you can have some hair for your puppet. You can just tie it with a piece of this thread, which comes with it, and then it'll match, right? And you know how to do that because we're tying things all the time. If yet you have not learned how to tie, you can do this in a variety of different ways. But somehow I think you do know how to tie. So we're going to tie this up like that. And take our buddy here. And you can put hair like that. Do a bunch of these. But you do want to cover up the back. So I made a bigger one earlier today, or maybe yesterday, who can recall? And you can do that. You know, you and I have the same kind of hair. Salt and pepper. Maybe we're related. What do you think? Let's turn you around and see. Oh yeah, it's me with long hair. Okay, I'm going to tuck this in. Remember I said before? Tucking this a lot. And then we're going to make or put together two opportunities for bodies. One's already made. You should be able to push this all the way in. as far as you can. You don't have to cut it. That's when you would risk the opportunity to run your socks. Nice little body here, face here. So I'm going to put it right here so you can look at you while I get the stuff ready for it. Where would you like to be? Over here. Say hi to everybody. Hello. I'm a face. Okay. And I'm just going to pick a couple of things up from another table. All right. Here he is. My friend, the thing, the head. You don't have a personality yet, but we'll get you one. So what about a body? Now, you can go and get these if you happen to have them around. But great, you put them on. This one I actually had used before, so, or someone made it for me. So what would be nice about that would be that I wouldn't waste this puppet. And then you just stick it on here. But I said, you lost your hair, bud. Okay, well, we'll put it on again. Which one do you want? You want to look like me? Okay. No can blame you. Not everyone has quite, oh, look at you. Hello. Would you like another outfit, please? Okay, what would you like? What color's what's your favorite color? Purple. We're in luck. I have for the princess here, Princess Purple, it's her name, a perfect outfit that I happen to have. I should hurry up? Okay. I'm going to move you down here. I didn't attach your hair. So, I don't know about anybody out there, but I usually lose at least one glove of a pair. Not to mention, well, I shouldn't even say one. I never lose both. No, that would be silly. So here's a pair of gloves. And they're great because they're very stretchy. So if you put them on your hand, which is what gloves are supposed to be, and you hold your puppet like that. I did tell you that you hold your puppets like that, right? Now, the temptation with gloves like this is that you kind of have to keep your fingers together. But it would be kind of a cool story if you didn't. However, so what you're going to do is we're going to take this head, and we're going to put it right on top of this glove. And you will have the quickest, easiest body for a puppet ever. Oh, it's so expressive. Do you want me to put your hair on? Please? Okay. Did you say please? Please? Okay, here we go. Here comes your hair. It's on your head. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, I am so glad you joined us today. And I'm going to do this out there in Mentor Project audience land. I'd love you to try a puppet like this. And if you can't, totally get it. But you have the tools, right? You have an old sock around the house. I've made them out of heavier socks, like this dude here, Ben Franklin. He and that one down there, my Sarah. They're made out of cotton socks, which are a little harder to work with. And they last a little bit longer, of course, and then that's wonderful. And of course, there's fancier hair. This is embroidery. And Joe's hair there, very, very embroidery thread. I worked really long on it, but I had some time. And that, Sarah's hair down the bottom over there, that's fringe, like the bottom of curtains. And then, of course, you know what our girl here is made out of. So what I'm going to do is put her up there and spend some time looking at her and develop a story, and I'll tell it to you. Her name is, I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking purple. What goes with purple? Pearl. Would you like to be Pearl? That's very nice. So this is what I have to say to you. This is all you need. Oh, I'll tell you the major ingredient. You need an old sock. You need some thread. Button thread is cool if you can find it. You need to figure out exactly what you're doing. Like maybe you have some yarn around the house and an old glove that you're friends with. Thank you so much for joining the Mentor Project. My name is Marilyn Price, and this is Pearl, the magnificent purple puppet that you and I have made together. So for now, I'm going to again show you my characters and in my studio and wish you a very happy, happy everly after. Bye for now.